Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land and hosted by me, Rolene Marks. And it is a very happy election day to us here in Israel. Again, yes, we're doing it for the fifth time in under 4 years, but the polls opened at 7 a.m. this morning. And as has been reported, that the current trend is voter turnout is very, very high. In fact, it's at its highest levels in over 2 decades. So let's take a look at what is happening. Israelis all over the country are casting their vote for whoever they see fit to run the country, or at least form a coalition. But the day hasn't been without incident. 2 incidents reported earlier today. One in Tel Aviv, a man wearing a Meretz, that's the far left-leaning party, desecrated a Chabad stand with tefillin. And in Beit Shemesh, anti-Israel Haredim sprayed a toxic spray at a polling station. But on the upside, it has been largely peaceful. What is quite interesting here in Israel is that people bring their children to see a democracy in action, and even some pets have been reported. Meanwhile, President Herzog yesterday, speaking to American Jewish leaders, appealed to them to support Israel and not be concerned with whatever the results are. He said that, whatever Israel's results are shouldn't impact on the strong relationship between Israel and the United States, and they need to accept that. They need to accept that the Israeli electorate will decide on who they see fit to run the country. Israel is a very interesting case study, because many people feel that because it is a homeland of the Jewish people and that they might live in the diaspora, that they have a right to opine on who Israelis should vote for. And it's just interesting to see, I'm neither for it nor against it, but it's interesting to see, the Israeli response to that. Let me know your thoughts. Pop them in the comments below. Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Gilad Erdan, has had some very harsh words for the UN Special Rapporteur on racism and xenophobia after she asked for the IRA definition of anti-Semitism to be adopted. Now, the IRA definition of anti-Semitism is the working document that many countries, many organizations, many cities around the world have adopted as the standard bearer for determining what is anti-Semitism and how anti-Semitism should be fought. In her opinion, she says that it impacts on human rights negatively. Now, this could be a result that many who are Israel's detractors see the equation of anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism as anathema to what they think anti-Semitism is. Meanwhile, we, the Jewish people, in conjunction with the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, that's IRA, will define what is offensive to us. And anti-Semitism, or rather anti-Zionism, definitely is what we equate as anti-Semitism, telling all the people in the world that they have a right to national aspiration and a national liberation movement, except the Jewish people we see as discriminatory and therefore anti-Semitic. Now, 38 countries objected very harshly to her words. Countries like the United Kingdom, the United States, Australia, Canada, and many EU countries said that they absolutely object, and that the IRA definition is the standard definition and has many, many valid points. Meanwhile, our ambassador to the United Nations said that her comments only help anti-Semites and actually sidesteps her mandate, which is to combat racism and xenophobia. Still staying at the United Nations General Assembly, and Israel has joined 50 other countries in condemning China's roundup and imprisonment of Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps. This is a human rights violation that has been going on for several years, and some equate it with a genocide, because not only are Uyghur Muslims subject to torture and to re-education, according to the Chinese, but a lot of the women are forcefully sterilized, preventing them from falling pregnant and having children. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Authority, joining Iran and 66 other countries, voted and put forward a statement in support of China. So if that doesn't tell you exactly where their human rights leanings are, I don't know what does. And in our final story, President Herzog, while he was in the United States, sat down with CNN's Wolf Blitzer to talk about many issues, including that of anti-Semitism. The president said that any time there is turmoil in the world or economic upheaval, the first people to be blamed for it are Jews. Now, this follows several weeks of highly inflammatory comments made by former rapper Kanye West, and has seen support from, amongst others, Kyrie Irving, an NBA player, as well as the Goyim Defense League, a far-right movement in the United States that alarmingly over the last weekend had signs across various venues in the US saying Kanye was right about the Jews. Meanwhile, social media has been flooded with anti-Semitic commentary in support of Kanye West, as well as some of the tropes put forward in literature and a movie by Irving. This is a time we call on everybody to be active. We cannot afford to be complacent at a time when anti-Semitism is at absolutely astronomical levels. And this brings me to the end of today's edition of the Israel Brief. Don't forget, of course, to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Anyone who is a subscriber to our newsletter, don't worry, the newsletters are coming. We haven't forgotten. Our Facebook community is at Lottel's site. You guys know, like us, follow us, share our content. Our YouTube channel is at the Israel Brief. Please consider clicking on that red subscribe button. And we're on Twitter at LayOfTheLand5. This is the Israel Brief. I'm Rolene Marks. I'll join you again tomorrow for your top stories and hopefully some election results.